I think that we've all had those days in school when we wanted to bring something special in. It could have been a ball or a special pencil, maybe a sketchbook, anything of that sort. The problem with that is that when you're in elementary school, you're surrounded with 20 or so other students who also want to use the thing that you brought in. One time, I brought in those magnetic ball fidgets. They come in packs of 500, and they're very small. They are basically like Play-Doh. You can shape them into anything. May I add that those are very expensive, and at the time when this happened, fidget toys and mental health wasn't really a big topic on the playground. So, all my classmates saw a girl with a toy to play with. It was like the equivalent of opening a pack of gum in the middle of your high school classroom. One of my friends asked for a small chunk of the fidget, so I tore off a bit of it. I didn't mind sharing since she was one of my close friends. For the sake of this story and to protect her privacy, I will call her Elsa. So, all through class, I had thought Elsa was playing with the fidget, but when I asked for it back, I noticed that the chunk was smaller than before. And before you accuse her of stealing it from me, that's not what happened. What actually happened was one of her friends that I wasn't as close with asked to play with some. This went on and on till the fidget was spread throughout the classroom. To this day, I don't know if I have gotten all of those fidgets back, but that's alright because I ended up losing it like around 2 months later. This other time, when I was in 6th grade, I got these very cute carrot erasers for Easter. The top of the eraser came off since it was separated between the green part of the carrot and orange part. There were around 5 in total, so I brought them into school. This girl, who I will call Clara, saw my erasers. She wanted to use some. They were very cute and nice quality, so I was very hesitant, but I agreed since I'm a pretty big pushover. Around this time, mechanical pencils were becoming extremely popular. The majority of the class was still using wood pencils, but most of the cool kids, heavy emphasis on that, used mechanical pencils. Clara just so happened to be one of those kids who used mechanical pencils. She had the brand that looks very cool and has a long eraser. I'll put one up on screen if you're very curious. If you've ever had one, you'll know one of the struggles with them. It wasn't the lead or the button on the side, but the eraser part. The way these pencils worked, if you've never had one before, is if you want to refill the lead, then you had to take the whole bottom part off of the pencil. There was a plastic part that made it click back in, but those were extremely flimsy, at least where I was. So a few minutes goes by when I look at Clara. She has taken the green part off the eraser and shoved it into the part where the eraser goes on her pencil. She told me that she couldn't find the eraser part of her pencil, so she used some of my really, really cute erasers to plug the hole where the lead would fall out of. I know it might sound very petty, but I was extremely mad. Mostly because when she erased with it, the whole thing got really dirty. I'm pretty sure she lost the orange part of the eraser as well. This last story is one that happened during high school. I brought my poetry book to school, and if you want me to read some, then comment down below. I was going through a particularly rough period in my life, so writing poems was a way to vent. I will do that occasionally, but since I was in high school, I was also kind of more of a introvert, and I wrote pretty messed up things that was very personal because what was happening in my life was very stressful. I set my notebook down before going to the bathroom in class. When I came back, I see this girl opening the first few pages of my book. I didn't mention this before. It was built to be able to take 2 notes for 2 different classes. I had started to write a story for my English class in the first part of it, and the second section was one for my poems. Had I written my poems in the first section, this girl would have been extremely worried for my sanity. I can read you one of the poems from that book right now so you can get a feel of what she would have seen. This is a trigger warning because this is something that was very personal to me. The world is my stage. I never stop acting, making others laugh to hide the personality I'm lacking. Can't tell where the actor ends and the real me begins, grasping at the mask that has fused to my skin. Carve one hole for each eye and one for my nose. Carve a big crescent moon where my mouth would go. On the inside, glass bottles of emotion break open, but on the outside I'm quiet as I'm coping. The bright lights shine as the darkness flees, like a puppet on display for you monsters to see. Puppet strings wrap around my limbs as my dance of lies commence. A standing ovation as I'm consumed by darkness. The stage lights turn off, but my act continues on. Limbs tired from dancing as dusk turns to dawn. The sun shines on my face, the lights shone on my stage. Strings pull me to my place as I start a new day. The audience sits down as the scene starts, strings pulling at my limbs till I'm ripped apart. No more show. The people leave. The stage light flickers throughout. The strings snap, crash goes my body. The puppet bleeds out. Keep in mind, this was more of a tame poem because I don't want to get demonetized. Many others were very graphic, but that's the one that I would share because I don't want it to get taken down. But if you do feel like you'd like to hear more of my poems that I wrote back in high school, then comment down below. And I hope you guys all have a great day or night. Thank you so much.